I started off being a broke college student that had just gotten broken up with and had to move back into her family's home. And within 8 months, I was making 6 figures. Hey guys, my name is Maya, and if you don't know and you don't follow me on my social media, I am an entrepreneur. I own my own influencer brand strategy and marketing agency. It is about to be 1 full year of owning my own business, and that is absolutely wild to me. I can't believe I even started my own business, let alone that it's almost been a year. It's so crazy. And so I wanted to share my entrepreneurship journey. If you are interested in becoming a virtual assistant for influencers, you're in luck because I have a masterclass. Okay, so before we get started, if you see like white flakes in my hair, no, it's not dandruff, it's gel. I did a wash and go 3 days ago, and now the gel has just dried in my hair. My hair doesn't hold gel very well. So 2, I apologize if you hear any banging. I just moved into my new apartment. My dishwasher is on, so if you hear that in the background, I'm also sorry. And then what's something else that I can apologize for? Let's go ahead and get on into the video. I own an influencer brand strategy and marketing agency. So I am a virtual assistant and social media strategist who works specifically with influencers to help scale their brand, help them become highly visible, increase their revenue, and then overall just kind of take off a lot of like workload off their plates. I have been in the industry as a virtual assistant slash social media strategist for a year now, owning my own business. However, I do have 5 years of social media experience underneath my belt because I've had various different jobs and internships within that field, as well as the fact that I also have a degree in communications and PR. So that's another thing that has really helped me with my business and definitely given me an advantage. But like I said, I'm going to be going in chronological order of how I started my business and where I am today. It all started in college. I was a communications major with a concentration in public relations. I really wanted to kind of get into the entertainment industry and kind of be like work for an entertainment industry in the essence of helping people with like scandals and stuff, because I love problem solving and critical thinking. While I was in college, I had to take this class called Writing for Public Relations, and after taking that class, we had to work with a real life client. So we had to find someone within Virginia or globally that we could help with their business and basically creating public relations strategies to be able to scale their business. I thought this was a really cool idea and I absolutely loved it. And my professor, who was an adjunct professor at the time, so she wasn't a real professor, she was just someone that they hired to teach a class because she owned her own public relations business, and it was really inspiring for me. And so as soon as I took that class and I started working with this local dining business and was helping them come up with social media strategies specifically to help scale their business, I knew this is something that I wanted to do for a long time. I've always kind of wanted to be an entrepreneur. I have been working since I was 12 years old. So I never really liked the 9 to 5. I didn't really like having to work for someone, and I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always wanted to be into the influencer industry, especially like YouTubers and stuff like that. So I have low-key been manifesting this ever since I was younger. This class basically kind of gave me the kickstart to be able to start my business. The first job that I had as a freelancer for social media management was back in 2020, in early 2020 actually, where I worked with a business that basically helped provide useful information about COVID, because around that time is kind of whenever the peak of COVID happened. They were based in the UK, Spain, and Croatia, and so I basically just managed their social media accounts. We just like didn't mesh well, and the time zones were really off, and it just wasn't a very good business partnership. So that's kind of like my first experience doing freelancing on my own. I got that job through an old internship I had through mutual connections. But what really took the icing on the cake was that in May of 2020, I actually got an internship with Michaela Shocks. Last year, she had launched her Soul Sister brand, which is a clothing and jewelry brand, and she was talking about it on her stories. I had been following her for a while, and me being very determined and persevering and kind of just taking the leap, I sent her a DM. Well, actually, I sent her an email and I asked her if she was interested in having an intern. I told her that I didn't mind working for free because, one, I just needed some sort of experience because I was going to be graduating soon, and I didn't really care. I was going to be working for Michaela if she said yes, so I was totally down for that. I sent her the email, she ended up answering it. It was a very professional email. I told her my experience. I told her how I had 4 years of social media experience under my belt. I told her how I'll be able to provide for her and like help her whenever it comes to Soul Sister. And she said yes. So in May of 2020, I nailed an internship with Michaela. I was her social media manager for Soul Sister for about 4 or 5 months, and I basically just helped create strategies. I helped create graphics. I posted, I wrote captions, I did hashtags. I also found some models for her for some of the shoots, like the linen shoot. I was not only as a social media manager, but I was also kind of like doing administrative tasks as well. And within working with her, I kind of realized that she was a mom full-time. She was a wife full-time. She had 2 daughters. She actually has 3 now, Maia, Elise, which is so cool that our names are so similar. She's so adorable. She's also a full-time influencer. So with all that information, I kind of understood that there's a lot on her plate and there's a lot that I wanted to do. Like I had said previously, for a really long time, I've always wanted to get into the influencer industry or like YouTubing industry because I really just enjoyed that realm of what it really looked like. So I basically just asked her if she wanted to have me as a personal assistant as well as a social media manager for Soul Sister, and she said yes. And so that's how I got into the influencer world. Michaela practically taught me everything about the influencer industry. There was nothing online that really helped me, but I'll get into that later. But Michaela really helped me with everything, and that really helped me with my business foundation. I was like, oh, I really just want to start a business where I help influencers, and she said that she definitely thought that is something that I could do full time, and it's definitely something that a lot of influencers actually need, because many people are under the misconception that because an influencer has management, that their management helps them with anything and everything, and that's honestly not true. A lot of the times, if an influencer does have a manager, more than likely that manager is only getting them brand deals. That manager is not helping with anything else regarding their brand or their business. After my internship with Michaela, I got another internship for a public affair firm in DC. This internship was working for PR, private corporate business that did not do a lot of things that were ethically or morally correct, but I handled a lot of the social media stuff, and the internship really taught me a lot about like my own ethics and morals, and only really encouraged me that I wanted to have my own business even more, because I didn't really feel comfortable in that work environment. I didn't feel safe in that work environment. I didn't feel like I was doing stuff that was actually beneficial and useful. If anything, I kind of felt like it was a little bit more harmful than it needed to be. Regardless, I ended up losing that internship due to COVID, so I was unemployed. I had to move back into my parents' house because at the time, me and my fiance, who was my boyfriend at the time, had broken up for a week, and I moved out, and I was just in a really difficult spot. I wasn't making any money. I was back in a childhood household that I didn't want to be in, and I was still going to school full time. And so one day I was on TikTok and I came across Jessica Hawks. Now, Jessica Hawks is a reigning virtual assistant in this industry. If you are in the virtual assistant or social media industry, you more than likely know who Jessica Hawks is. She had a video going up about what a virtual assistant was, which is basically someone that works online virtually for other businesses. So you can work for restaurants, photographers, fashion designers, different stores, like literally anything. After discovering Jessica Hawks, I kind of took a step back and I thought to myself, this is something that I really wanted to do. Like I said, I had done freelancing in the past. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, and I kind of just took a leap of faith. So I sat on it for a little bit, and I realized that I have so much experience in social media. I had experience whenever it came to strategy, and I also had a lot of passion and a lot of drive. I took all the money that was in my savings account and I booked a discovery call with Jessica Hawks. I got on this strategy call with her, and we kind of just talked about what I wanted to do. I told her about my experience. I told her about what I foresaw myself doing. She definitely saw that there was something in me and that I could definitely do it. I actually told her that I was interested in working with influencers, and she kind of told me like not to go the influencer route because no one's ever done it before. August 28th of 2020, I made my first Instagram post, which was basically me just showcasing my knowledge as well as like introducing myself. I started to turn my personal Instagram account into a business account. So I started promoting myself on Instagram. I started creating a bunch of virtual assistant graphics and posting them. I started taking a bunch of pictures of myself, while making my brother and my sister take a bunch of pictures of me to be able to post to. I was maintaining consistency on my Instagram, which is really important whenever it comes to like any sort of account. I was doing hashtag research, I was writing valuable captions. About the first month, I started getting clients. Now, I will say that the clients that I was getting in the beginning were not influencers, they were all business owners and or photographers. So I did end up working with 2 photographers and 1 business owner, so I was making a little bit of money, but I wasn't making as much as I really needed to be able to make a living, as well as the fact that I really just didn't enjoy the work. During this time also, there was a lot going on in my personal life, so I actually ended up taking a small break in December, and that was really frustrating for me because I was peaking in my business in December, but I really just needed a break. Within the first month of launching my business, I already had 4 clients, but like I said, those clients I didn't really want to work with because they weren't my ideal client. I kind of dropped all of them because there was a lot going on in my personal life in December. It was a smart move for me to be able to kind of take a step back from these clients that I necessarily didn't even want to work with, take a break from social media, and really invest into influencers because that's who I wanted my ideal client to be. Now, as a virtual assistant in this industry or in a social media manager, you're really going to be encouraged to kind of find a virtual assistant coach, because these coaches are basically going to be able to guide you through your journey to entrepreneurship, and it's going to make things a lot easier for you and a lot quicker for you. My problem was I was a virtual assistant that wanted influencers to be my ideal client, and there was no one that knew how to work with influencers. I did hire 1 virtual assistant coach. I had a terrible experience with her. I hated it. I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm not going to another coach, because it really then clicked to me that no one knew anything about the influencer world, and that I couldn't rely on anyone to be able to help me be successful as a virtual assistant for influencers besides myself. And I just started creating a bunch of content centered around the influencer world. I was taking all the knowledge I had learned, and once I transitioned to a virtual assistant who only started working with influencers, I started seeing a bunch of change and a bunch of growth within my platform as well as within my business. After about 2 months of officially launching that I was only going to be working with influencers, I nailed my first influencer client, who was Anitra Pearson, and I started working with Anitra in October. Then in January, I started working with Danielle Gray, aka the Style and Beauty Doctor, and me and Danielle are still working together. And then after that, I just started scaling very quickly. I started to gain more clientele. I currently have 5 clients, and I have a few that are currently on my wait list. I was finally able to pay off my car. I paid off my phone. I paid off my car insurance. I'm currently moved out in my own apartment that I manifested with my fiance. There have been a lot of changes that have happened in my life, and I'm so blessed about it. So I got my first client that was an influencer in October. Within 5 months, I was making 5K, and within 8 months, I was making 6 figures. And I definitely know that this is something that I'm very blessed and very grateful for, how quickly I scaled. A lot of my ability to scale comes with the fact that I have so much experience and such a background in social media, as well as I'm in a very undersaturated market whenever it comes to the influencer world. That's one of the biggest reasons why I've been able to scale so quickly. But yeah, that's kind of my entrepreneurship journey. Despite all the hardships that I went through mentally, I was able to make it out. If you guys want a video that is more in depth and kind of goes a little bit more into my packages, how I priced myself, how I started off my packages, answering any frequently asked questions that you guys may have about being an entrepreneur, what it's like working for influencers specifically, things like that, I would love to talk about that. Just go ahead and leave that down below. I also encourage you guys to go ahead and follow me on my social media. I am more active on Instagram and TikTok, so I will leave those down below as well. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching this video. If you are interested in becoming a virtual assistant for influencers, you're in luck, because I have a masterclass where I'm going to be teaching people how to do exactly what I do. And so if this is something that you're super interested in, I definitely recommend that you take my masterclass. My masterclass is about an hour-and-a-half masterclass, and so it comes with the recorded version of the masterclass. You get a 50+ page ebook that is really going to help with your business foundation whenever it comes to how to promote yourself on Instagram, what your Instagram needs to look like, how to get in contact with clients, how to soft pitch, how to cold pitch. The masterclass also goes over packages and pricing. The masterclass is currently $200 off because it is my business anniversary month. So the masterclass is originally $397. For the remainder of 2021, I was having it at $297, but because, like I said, it's my business anniversary month, I'm having it at $197. This is the best opportunity and the best price that it's going to be. So if you are contemplating it, then I 10 out of 10 recommend that you do it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm really excited to start this YouTube channel and share more about my life, about my entrepreneurship. So I hope that you guys decide to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.